What's good, people? This is the one and only GM Fizzle, and in today's video, I want to talk about Tekken 7's balance issues. A lot of people been making a lot of tier lists lately. I even made one, but my tier list is maybe like a month old now. But I saw they came out with the new patch. They fixed the hitboxes on Fakurime a little bit, which is a start. And Leroy got nerfed a couple of months ago too. And then Geese got nerfed again. So hopefully in season 4, they'll change the game completely and make the weaker characters a bit stronger, and the stronger characters nerf them a little bit. In my opinion, I think the characters that need to get nerfed, that are just like way too strong. Akuma is still ridiculous. He's still way too cheap. The cross jab and the full combo, the demon flip pressure, low short into the full combo, all that stuff is too much. Your focus attack is way too much. Leroy still needs to get nerfed. Who else? Marduk and Paul are my top 2 candidates for big nerfs. Julia could use a nerf, and of course Safina and Elisa. Those are the characters in the game I feel need to get nerfed. Everybody else is like, either needs to get buffed or is it fine the way they are, pretty much. I think the issue with Tekken 7 is that the really good characters are like way too good, and then the mediocre or average characters are just like average. And the thing with Tekken 7 is that people don't tend to understand that Tekken 7 it's like Marvel vs. Capcom, Street Fighter 5, you know what I'm saying? It's not like a legitimate, like, it's Tekken, but it's not really Tekken at the same time because of the rage arts, the armor moves, and rage drives and stuff like that. So if you're playing a character like Lee, Miguel, characters like that, or Lars or something like that, that don't have the Tekken 7 tools that make other characters like OD, I'll give you an example. Like, characters like Leroy, Fakurime, Paul, Marduk, they got like crazy rage drive and really good armor moves and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? High damage output into hard reads and stuff like that. So they could play Tekken 7, meaning that they can actually, with those characters, you can actually win without having like great fundamentals and just abusing, like, having comeback factor, coming back on rage with like a rage R, rage drive or something like that. So they have tools that you don't need to have crazy fundamentals like movement, spacing, and all that stuff. So that's what makes them good, and that's what makes them like a good Tekken 7 character. And also, you can with those characters like that, imagine if you also really good at Tekken and you play those characters too. So you got characters that you don't need fundamentals, because you could just do Tekken 7 shit, but add that on top of that. That's what makes them really good and stand out for most of the cast. Because most of the cast is that you only could play Tekken and you could win with them. You only could play Tekken. You can't play Tekken 7. Like Lee, you have to play solid as hell the whole match. Spacing, you need spacing. You need good movement. You need fundamentals to win with Lee. Same with Miguel. Same with Lars in the high level. That's not 2 out of 3. Same with Armor King, characters like that. Yeah, so characters like that, you know what I'm saying? Characters like Negan has a lot of Tekken 7 stuff. The shit with Negan is that you still have to be really solid to win with Negan. That's one of the issues with Negan. I think for Negan to get better, they will have to add more Tekken 7 silly shit, like, system shit. You know what I'm saying? Because he does have some Tekken 7 shit, but it's not enough to the point that you don't need to play solid with him to win. So, but characters like Marduk, you could just like tackle, rage drive, Half-Life into, low parry, ground Oki throw. He has a lot of silly shit. So they need to balance the game out and make more characters silly if they want to. They either have to nerf those silly characters, or they have to make everybody have cheap Tekken 7 based shit, not Tekken shit. You know what I'm saying? Lei Wulong is kind of like that too. Like he has Tekken 7 shit, but his damage output isn't high enough and he's too risky. So they will have to maybe make him a little bit more silly. You know what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't really have a comeback factor. When he's in rage, you're not really too afraid of Lei Wulong too much. Not really. Characters like Brian is really good because you could do Tekken 7 shit And like he's mad scary in rage, and he's scary without rage. He could just outplay you, and he could be nutty and still win. So that's my thing, man. People tend to understand is like a lot of people tend to be really good at Tekken 7, but not good at Tekken. And you could do that with most characters in Tekken 7 because you don't need fundamentals too much. The comeback factor and how much damage you get off of offense and hard reads is too much for some characters that you could play in the game. So I think they just need to make everybody more silly, more Tekken 7-ish. They either need to nerf all the Tekken 7 shit or make everybody have silly Tekken 7 shit that benefits from them being in the system that is Tekken 7. Because most characters don't benefit from the system. They just play like regular Tekken characters. You know what I'm saying? Characters like Safina, they have everything. She has armor moves, crush moves, a lot of plus frames. You know, then she has good pokes, good movement. So she could play Tekken and Tekken 7 at the same time. And you get really, really good results. Like Kasumi is good, but the issue with Kasumi is that she's just a straight up solid Tekken character. Like a solid Tekken character. And, you know, in season 1, she was way more OD because she was a solid Tekken character, but she was like a top tier Tekken character. Like you couldn't really, it was really hard to deal with her stuff. Plus, her offense was really good, so that buffed her up on the Tekken 7 tier list. Because Tekken 7 is an offensive game. It rewards offense. It rewards offense a lot. That's why people that don't move and don't have good fundamentals when they play characters like Craig or Paul or something like that, they could get far. Or Safina, because the game is an offense game. You can't really move like that in Tekken 7. So people tend to be able to get away with not being good at the game and doing eye in Tekken 7. So that's what I'm saying. A lot of people are good at Tekken 7, but they're not really good at Tekken. But it helps in like in Tekken 7 you could do that. Sure, if you're good at Tekken and you know all the Tekken 7 stuff, you'll be really good. But it really depends on the character you play. That's why I think the game is unbalanced. The top tiers, if you play like Fakuram, Leroy, Akuma, Safina, or Julia and stuff like that, and Paul and Marta, your chances of winning are way higher than anybody else that uses any other character in the game. So I feel like the game is really unbalanced because of that. They need to fix the weaker characters like Master Raven, Lee Charlan, Lars, Noctis, Eliza, Asuka. I don't think Asuka is really good because the shit with Asuka is that she just has good Tekken 7 base nonsense, but her neutral is terrible. So like she has to hit you with Tekken 7 stuff. Like she can't like just like beat you straight up by playing Tekken. She can't. Like that's the difference between her and Marta. Marta could like do Tekken 7 stuff and still do Tekken shit and beat you. He could just poke you up and mix you up and shit like that. Asuka can't really do that. So I think Asuka needs buffs. Feng Wei, I think if Feng Wei were to get buffed, he'll probably be top tier. Because he already has silly Tekken 7 shit. It's just not that great. So if they were to buff him and make him even better, he's a candidate for being the next top tier. Bob is the same shit. Bob has some Tekken 7 shit, but it's not that great. You know what I'm saying? His wall game is really good. I think the best thing about Bob is forward 1+2. If it wasn't for forward 1+2, Bob will probably be like mid-low tier or maybe mid-mid. Now he's like kind of mid-high, borderline. You know? So Anna too. Anna's weird. Like I think in 2 out of 3 she's really dangerous and really good, and she has a lot of Tekken 7 shit. I think she's underrated. I think she's actually pretty damn good. She's cheap. So I think if they buff her again, she could be top tier also. Because she fits the system. She's mad silly. Like characters like Anna and shit fit the system. And Jack and stuff like that. Because Jack, he could be mad silly and just like ham you out Tekken 7 style. Or he could be solid and beat you. I think they should just make every character like that if they want to balance the game. It's not fair that some characters have to out solid you to beat you. And the other characters don't need to be solid. And they could just ham you out with like a lucky guess or like some... You know what I'm saying? Not playing to the best of their abilities. It's mad silly, man. So that's my thing with Tekken 7 balance. I hope they fix the game and make everybody be able to compete with each other. Either nerf the damage on everybody and make everybody balanced, or just make everybody silly. So they have to think about what they're going to do and just buff the weaker characters, and so they could compete with the stronger characters so the game could be more fair on both lamps. Because let's be real, man. Like from season 1 all the way to now, the game just been getting more unbalanced and more unbalanced, man. Like when Leroy first came out, he was super broken. Fakuram, ridiculous. So I just think the game keeps getting more unbalanced and more unbalanced. And that wall bounce for every character, that joint made it even worse. So they really need to think about the balancing, man, because the balancing has been getting worse and worse. I think maybe feedback from actual like people that know what they're talking about with their characters would be good, instead of like random Twitter people that don't really know what they're talking about, are not really good at the game, and just complain about nonsense. You know what I'm saying? Those are not really the people they should get answers from. They should be getting answers from logical people that really know what they're talking about. But that's just my opinion. And that'll be it for this video, man. Be sure to share, subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me on GM League God, that's my Twitch. And I'll see you guys next time with the next video. Peace out.